It took a really long time to come on. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Book Chat, where we have lots of laughs and never take anything too seriously, or seriously at all, because we never do. So anyway, today we have a really, really fun treat for you. We've been messing around with some ideas of really fun things that we could do, and I thought, hey, why not interview Lashell? So today, I am going to be interviewing Lashell. So she's in the hot seat. So
and I'm afraid.
You're afraid?
I'm afraid.
I have some really great questions for you, and it's really not going to be that bad. So just hang in there.
Be mean to me. I can feel it.
You know, I know last month I promised that I was going to be mean to you because you asked some really hard questions, but I promise I'm not going to be mean. We're going to have a lot of fun. I was doing this weird hand thing just now because my hair got in my mouth, not because I was petting myself. So we're off to a really great start already because we're not taking anything too seriously. So Lashell, relax. It's going to be a really relaxed show. We're going to have fun, and I'm going to go ahead and start.
I don't believe you, but okay.
Okay, so full disclosure, I did not memorize my questions, so you're going to see my face inside my papers a lot, and I'm sorry for that. All right, so I want to go ahead and talk about your tagline that you have posted up on your website. It says cops and werewolves and rock stars. Oh my! And I like it because you write romantic fiction about sexy men in uniform and shoes and pretty boy rock stars. And I want to briefly touch on each one of those things, but I want to start with cops because Mama loves her some cops. All right, I love your Kelly family series. Just absolutely love it. Honestly, it was the first thing I ever read of yours.
Really?
Yeah, really. I was at my mom's house, and Mom, don't take this too personally. I was kind of bored, and I wanted something to do, and I hadn't read any of your books, and I was kind of feeling really guilty because at that point I had known you for a while, and I thought, you know what, it's time to read some of her books. And I think I blew through 4 of them very, very quickly. In a matter of time, I was just laying on the couch. So fell in love with them, and I have to talk about this series first. Okay. Obviously, you have a vast knowledge of the police force, and the series is kind of expertly built around a family of cops. And I love how real it feels. It feels like, as a reader, whoever wrote this book has spent countless hours on ride-alongs or down at the station or who knows what, on duty, I guess. And it's clear that you know a lot about what you're talking about. And as you're married to a retired cop, hi, Gary, I'm wondering how much you have relied on his expertise while you're researching information for your books.
Well, first, I want to say thank you for saying that. I do tend to hear a lot from readers that my books feel very well researched. And at first I was kind of like, okay, but that's something that I'm kind of proud of now that I take the time to do the research to make it feel real. But the answer to your question is a lot. I rely on his expertise, my husband's expertise, a great deal whenever I'm writing a law enforcement character. But really, with the Kelly family, it's even more so, because what I do for that series in particular is I take his old work stories about different cases, and I turn them into plot lines for that series specifically. So,
oh, please tell me that the opening of Ethan is not something that he really went through.
The opening of Ethan? Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. That was kind of
gross.
It is a very gross story, and when Gary talks about it, he calls it the maggot head case.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty gruesome, but yeah, that was a real event.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you've published 6 of these books, of the Kelly books to date. Yes. Which one has been the easiest for you? Which one has been the most difficult? And if you could spend your day with any of the Kellys, but only one,
okay,
and why? And what would you guys talk about?
Okay. Well, the easiest to write was probably Frankie, the Frankie novella, because well, Frankie's the only female. Not the only female in the family, but she's
Right.
the only one who's also a cop.
Right.
So, getting inside her head was a little easier than the guys. But also, Frankie is a canine handler, and my husband was a canine handler for many years at his police department. So, I hear a lot about that whole, system of doing things. And so that was just really easy to write, something close to my heart. So the most difficult was definitely the smoking gun. And that's simply because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
With everything going on in the world today, in this country, I actually did a lot of second guessing with myself. And I was really afraid to put it out there, honestly. I was, debating whether or not to even, in terms of race, should I change the story? Should I leave it the way it is in my head? And ultimately, I just decided to stay true to my characters and write the story that was in my heart. So that's what I did.
I'm glad that you did, because that's actually my favorite book in that series, and there's something very beautiful about the way that it was written, and I'm so glad that you just stuck to your guns and stuck to your guns. I'm glad that you stuck to your guns and went with it.
There. Well, it's still that story makes me a little nervous because of everything that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And I wrote it from the cop's perspective, of course, because.
And I think that we need to see more of. I think we need to see more of that. So I think the fact that you did write it from the cop's perspective, it's something that we don't see a lot. And I think that it was a very brave decision for you, and I'm glad you did it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about who you would spend some time with and what you guys would talk about.
I've given this a lot of thought.
Okay.
I think I would spend the day with Marina.
Oh, okay.
Marina Kelly is the only one of her family, her siblings and her cousins, that is not a cop. So, and she's a huge dog lover like me, and she has the coolest job. She owns a barkery, she bakes gourmet dog treats. So yeah,
that is adorable. It makes me kind of wish I had a dog so I could take him to the barkery.
There you go.
Okay, so let's put the cops aside for a minute.
Okay.
Or kind of for the rest of the talk, because I want to talk some about werewolves now. All right. So this is kind of fun and completely unrelated to writing, but I wanted to have some fun, and I told you I wouldn't be too hard on you. So Halloween is just around the corner, and it's my favorite time of year. I love all the spooky, scary, haunting stuff that goes bump in the night, and obviously you do too, because you're writing about it. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain and ask you about some of the world's most mysterious creatures.
Okay.
We're going to play a quick round of real or make-believe.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Werewolves, real or make-believe?
I have heard some stories that will make your hair stand on end, so I'm going to say they're real.
All right. Ghosts, real or make-believe?
Real.
Bigfoot?
Real.
Aliens?
Real. The truth is out there.
I love you. Vampires?
I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but make-believe.
I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
Except for Edward, of course. Edward.
Okay, you're killing all of my dreams about really hot, sparkly vampires. You're killing it. Killing it.
I could be,
Let's agree to disagree on that one.
Okay.
Loch Ness Monster, real or make-believe?
I don't know. I think Nessie's out there, but I'm not sure.
I think Nessie is what's left of the dinosaurs who are not extinct.
Ah, good theory.
That's my theory. I like to think that the dinosaurs are among us. Mothman, real or make-believe?
Mothman, make-believe.
No. Banshees, real or make-believe?
Banshees, make-believe.
Leprechauns?
I hope leprechauns are real, because if they are and I catch one, that pot of gold is mine.
But you'll share it, right?
Well, of course.
Yay! We're rich! I can't wait until we can say that, and it's true. Okay, so on the note of vampires and kind of sticking with the paranormal theme,
Yeah.
I loved Rogue Moon. And from the very first chapter, from the moment that it was in my inbox, I sat on my couch and I'm like devouring it. And I'm arguing with it because it's in PDF format and my screen didn't want to cooperate, but I was just like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to get through it because I love it that much. The second book in the series, Faded Moon. It's due for release on the 30th.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So give us a tiny little teaser and let us know what we can expect from the cast of characters this time around. Oh, and also, how many books are we going to get in that series?
Okay. Well, in terms of a teaser, our billionaire werewolf vigilante has learned a tough lesson. That lesson is you should never kill a pack alpha unless you want that alpha position for yourself. So
I learned that lesson too.
Yeah, right? So in this book, we see how Trevor and Melissa begin to deal with the fallout or the repercussions of Trevor's actions at the end of the last book.
Great.
So, and we learn more about the mysterious syndicate and who they are and how they operate.
Very cool. How many books are we going to get in this series? What's on your mind?
I'm thinking 8. I'm thinking 6 full-length novels and 2 novellas. Book 1 was the first novella, and then book 2, that's due out in just a little bit, is the first full-length novel. But I'm thinking 8. I've already got the whole series arc all mapped out.
So this is a pretty big deal because that would be your longest series, right?
Yeah, to date it would.
I mean, all of your books are a really big deal, don't get me wrong, but 8, that's very ambitious, and that means you're very dedicated to it. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
It's a good cast of characters. I'm excited.
I've got big hopes for it. I'm also planning sort of like a spin-off. I don't know if you call it a spin-off, sort of a sister series.
Okay.
I'm working on something called the Isaac Taylor Mysteries, and Isaac Taylor, it's more straight romantic suspense than it is paranormal. But Isaac Taylor obviously is a cop. He's a detective. But the hook is that he and Detective Melissa Cartwright from the Rogue Moon series work at the same precinct. And so there'll be some character crossover here and there and some cameos in each book. So
that's exciting.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to pick up a book and see characters that you already know, and they're kind of existing in this other world that's not really another world. It's just from a different perspective. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a big undertaking. It's pretty ambitious, I know, but I don't know. We'll see.
You're gonna be so stressed out. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Okay, so you have written a couple of series that centralize around werewolves. So I have to ask if there's any chance for a crossover between the Lunar Falls pack and the Rogue Moon pack. I would love to see Gabe and Trevor sit down and, kind of have some, sexy, well, not together, but have some werewolf alpha male shenanigans.
And it's actually funny you should mention that because honestly, just a few days ago, that thought occurred to me. And it's an interesting prospect. So I'm not going to say definitely yes, but I'm not going to rule it out either.
I like it. I like it.
Novella form or something. I don't know.
That would be cool. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I like it. So my hair's doing this really funky thing. Okay. Coming from an author, that's me, who writes in the real world, I can't even possibly imagine trying to write about werewolves and world building. I'm kind of enamored by people who can create paranormal universes. So what's your favorite part of the world building process? And do you follow all of the rules of werewolf lore, or are you okay with breaking rules just for the sake of originality?
Oh, I break the rules all the time.
Good girl.
Well, to me, that's the fun of creating a world from scratch, You get to make the rules because it's your world. That's really kind of fun for me. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Break the laws of physics if you want to, make up your own werewolf lore. That's pretty much what I did with Lunar Falls. I mean, nothing in that is your typical, werewolf lore, I don't think. But that's the beauty of world building. But you have to be careful because readers are really, really smart.
Yeah, they are.
If you create this world and you create this set of rules, you have to make sure you follow the rules you create.
Right.
That's the trick.
Wow. See, and that's why I'm very happy in my comfort zone of real world things, because I would screw it up. I would mess it up so badly. All right, so let's kind of step away from the werewolves for a little bit.
Okay.
And talk about the rock stars.
Rock stars.
Rock stars. All right, so music is a huge part of your life. It's a huge part of who you are. Anyone who knows you knows that. So I'm talking musicians and bands here. Who have been your musical inspirations, not only for your character development or for your books, but just simply for getting through life? Where do you draw that from?
For getting through life, 2 words: Michael Jackson. Enough said. For inspiring me to keep going for my dreams, no matter how far away they seem. Todd Kearns.
I'm not sure I've ever heard you mention him.
No, he's just a really inspirational guy. For character and story development, bands like Aerosmith, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, all those 80s type, full of, decadence and all of that. Slash in particular. Bands like that, just, in terms of books and stories.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson and Aerosmith were the only 2 that I knew before I knew you. And now I feel like I'm kind of smart because I know things. You taught me so much. So you're always popping up all over the country, and sometimes you're in Canada, and I'm like, when did she go to Canada? Where is she now? You will just
world is Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, you will just leave at the most random times, and sometimes it's no one even knows you're gone. Just oh, she's in Canada. Okay. Oh, she's in Ireland. Okay. You never know where Lashell is going to show up. So you're always kind of, I don't want to say chasing, but, going to see your favorite musicians.
Yeah.
You're just going to see them and enjoy their music and have that concert experience. So how has your travel, because I know that this has been a huge part of your life, not just recently, but a huge part of your life. How has your travel as a fan helped you with perspective and research that inspire your rock star novels?
Well, it helps a great deal in terms of things like story research, in terms of backstage passes, meet and greets, watching the backline set up and tear down the gear, before and after a show, watching guitar techs and drum techs in action, seeing what they do, stuff like that. Things you wouldn't normally think about when you go to a concert just to have a good time. Of course, having an awesome time is always my number one goal, my number one reason for being there. But like any writer, I'm soaking up everything that I see and filing it away for future story use.
But don't you kind of hate that a little bit? As writers, it's really hard to kind of fully enjoy anything because your writer mind is still working I need to make sure I mention that or write that away in a book because that's going to work. And
you would think so, but I don't know, maybe my brain's different. When I'm there in the moment, I'm definitely there in the moment. And
I still struggle with that. So maybe I need to be a little more like you. Because I will go to a baseball game and be so wanting to enjoy it at 100%. But I'm still sitting here I need to make notes about this because that would be useful. And I'm not really fully in it.
Well, see, I'm never actually taking notes, physically.
Oh man, I am. I'm give me a pen. Who has a pen? I'll just write it on my phone. Yeah. So, okay, maybe you're living a little better than I am. I don't know. So you've been very fortunate very fortunate to have this opportunity to interview a fantastic performer about his life and his experience as a famous musician. How has his expertise and his insight helped you write believable characters and scenes?
Well, I interviewed him for a specific book that's in the editing stages right now. And I have to say his insight was completely invaluable to me. Like I learned things that I personally would never have even considered before when writing like a standard rock star romance.
Okay.
Just things that, you know, from the star's point of view, you know?
Yeah.
It just, things that just would never have even occurred to me. It allowed me to get inside my character's head in a way that I've never been able to before.
That's super cool.
I'm pretty excited about this book.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I know I wanted to say I can't wait to read it, and I know you sent it to me forever ago, and I'm a horrible friend, and I need to read it. I'm excited about it. I promise I will read it. I promise.
Well, you've got the unedited version anyway, so
which means I have the coolest version because that's the best I have. That just means I'll have to buy the polished version once it's up.
There you go.
You know, support an author if I have to. Okay, so now we're going to kind of move on to, we've done the cops and the werewolves and the rock stars. Now we're going to move on to, oh my. You ready?
I don't know. Am I?
Maybe not. This is where I start to be mean. Okay, so no blending allowed.
Okay.
If you have to pick one subgenre of your romance to write about for the rest of your life, are you writing about law enforcement, paranormal, shifters, or rock stars? And you have to pick one and you can't mix them up.
That is a really hard question. But I think I'm going to say paranormal.
Really?
And that surprises me too. Only because I say paranormal because that seems to be what comes easiest to me at this point, which is crazy because I can remember, I don't know, a year or two ago, talking to you, having a conversation about how terrified I was to release Lunar Falls because I had never written paranormal before. Do you remember that?
I do. Like you're shocking me with this answer because you were terrified.
Yeah, but if you look at my book pages on my website now, I have more paranormal books than anything else. And
do you find that you just enjoy it more, or that it's easier for you, or what is it?
It's not that I enjoy it more because I enjoy writing everything that I write. That's why I write it. But it does come easier in a way. And I don't know, maybe it's because the world building is so...
Because there aren't so many real rules that you have to follow.
In a way, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess I have to kind of rethink how I think of myself in terms of what kind of writer I am. Maybe I'm a paranormal writer now who also writes rockstar romance. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a really cool question. I'm kind of glad you asked it. I never would have thought about it.
I kind of expected any answer but that.
Really?
Yeah, it's very rare that you surprise me. And you kind of just like my brain just kind of exploded.
It kind of blew my own mind, really, when I was thinking about that question. But yeah.
Wow. We learn something new every day.
Yeah, about ourselves. So
it's hard to move on to another question after that one because my brain kind of shut down. I'll give you an easy one.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on book trailers?
I like book trailers. I think they're fun. The jury's still out for me on whether or not they actually help sell books.
Right.
But I like them. They're eye-catching. I made one by myself. I have 3 up on my website. The other 2 were made for me. But yeah, they're fun.
They're fine. They're fine. Okay, so writer's block.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. How do you get through it? And what's your advice to writers who suffer regularly from this dreaded curse? I'm specifically asking for advice here.
You're going to be disappointed. I really don't have much to tell you here. And that's because I'm a plotter. You know that. But here's the thing. I plot my stories from start to finish before I ever write a single word. That's just how my brain works, I guess. That plot for me, that outline or whatever you want to call it, it gets so detailed. I mean, I even plot out conversations. It gets so detailed that I tend to think of that outline as my first draft. And then
wow.
And then once I have a completed manuscript, that to me is my second draft. And then I start on edits. So I really don't suffer from writing block in the traditional sense.
Okay, but say you're sitting down to write that first draft, that outline. Mm-hmm. Is there any point where you get stuck? Or is it just so easy for you to just kind of know what's going to happen, every detail in between start to finish? Because it blows my mind that you don't have those moments where you're like smacking your head against your desk, because I do that 100 times a day.
I guess I do have those moments, but for me, that happens in the plotting stage.
Okay.
Because I plot out my story.
Okay.
It's in a very detailed way.
And you don't consider that writer's block?
I don't consider that writer's block. To me, that's just, okay, where does the story go from here?
You're blocked.
No. I view writer's block as something different, something deeper than where does the story go from here. Do you know what I mean?
I guess so. I guess I just always have kind of looked at it like, anytime when I'm sitting down at my computer trying to write and I've got nothing and I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm going or what the next word is supposed to be, and I'm just looking at that stupid cursor blinking, that to me is writer's block, whether it lasts 5 minutes or whether it lasts 5 months, because 5 months has happened to me before. So yeah, I guess we just all look at it differently. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's funny. So talking a little more about writing, what's your favorite quote about writing? Because I know that a lot of quotes inspire us and they keep us going. What's your favorite?
I just recently fell in love with a quote I saw it was attributed to Victor Hugo. Okay. But it says, a writer is a world trapped in a person.
Oh.
And I read that and I just thought, oh my God.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. Like if I had to describe how it feels to be a writer to someone who isn't a writer and had no clue, that's what I'd say. Because that just explains it all.
See, that's better than mine, because I'm going to be like, being a writer feels like schizophrenia.
Well, and see, I've told people after reading that quote, that's why people sometimes, or why writers, I should say, have a reputation for being insane or being crazy. It's because there are a million people living inside your head.
It's constant, and maybe people who don't write or who just don't have that in them, or it's not what they're programmed to do. They don't understand. It's madness.
Yeah.
It's beautiful madness.
It is.
It's not always controlled chaos. A lot of the time it's just chaos.
Right.
But I love that quote, because to me, my term has always been schizophrenia. But I do kind of like that. Your way is a little more, I guess,
more eloquent.
It's a little more eloquent than schizophrenia. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So you asked me this last month, so I'm stealing it, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, I really like this question. So how do you think that you have evolved creatively since you first started writing professionally, or since you first started publishing? I guess or even when you first started writing, like, how do you feel you have evolved creatively, and what do you wish that you knew back then that you know now? So what do you know now that you wish you would have known when you started?
Well, the secret no one ever tells you until it's too late is never publish the first thing you've ever written. Mm. I wish I had known that little tidbit, in the beginning, because that answers the first part of your question.
Yeah.
I know without a doubt that the caliber of my writing has grown, improved, evolved
Yep.
tremendously since I started this. And that's kind of the best advice that I have heard. Well, some of the best advice I've heard since I started this self-publishing writing journey.
Yeah.
Never publish the first thing you've ever written.
So let me get this right. The best advice that you have ever heard is your own advice?
It's not mine. That's not original to me. I did not make that up.
Oh, you're so cute. She's like, just look at me, toot my own horn. Best advice in the world.
No, I did not make that up. That did not come from me. But it's, it's perfect advice. I mean, it's huge, really.
I wholeheartedly agree.
It's huge.
You don't realize.
You don't hear that, before. So if I can help someone else, don't publish the first thing you've ever written.
I can totally agree with that. I think that, but what's beautiful about this conversation that we're having here is we're constantly learning.
Mm-hmm.
We're constantly growing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of, while you're like, man, I can't believe that I actually wrote that. I can't believe I published that. I can't believe my family read that.
Yeah.
I recently had one of those cringeworthy moments, and it was kind of strung into a series of books. I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I write this? Why did I publish this? What's beautiful about that, though, is we're looking at it and we're realizing how much we have evolved and how much we have changed,
Mm-hmm.
and how much better our writing has gotten.
Exactly.
And I think it's kind of a beautiful thing, even if it came with a mistake at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Total agreement. So
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
And we're going to hit a lightning round, and then we're done. And it was easy, see? It wasn't that bad.
You mean?
All right. What is coming next from Lashell Collins? What should we be on the lookout for?
Well, Faded Moon, book 2 of the Rogue Moon series, that releases October 30th. It's up for pre-order now. And in a few days, I'll hopefully, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said nothing.
Oh, in a few days, I'll hopefully have book 1 of a new Rockstar romance series up for pre-order as well. This is the book that we were talking about earlier, where I interviewed the Rockstar.
I like to call him Pretty Boy Rockstar.
Pretty Boy Rockstar.
Yeah.
That's something. He knows who he is.
He also knows he's pretty, so I'm not saying anything we don't already know. Okay. Lightning round, are you ready?
Probably not, but okay.
It's really easy, I
Okay.
promise. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Peanut butter or jelly?
And peanut butter and jelly.
Ew! I hate peanut butter.
Do you?
I do. Paperback or ebook?
This is a tough one, but I'm going to say ebook only because I love the fact that I can carry an entire library in my purse if I want to.
I like being able to highlight things and make notes.
Yeah.
And being like, man, this author is a genius. I'm going to highlight that because I love it. Mac or PC?
Mac.
Yeah. Roller skates or roller blades?
Neither.
Really?
Really?
Oh, we're going to have to change that. Dine in or carry out?
Dine in.
Odd or even?
Odd.
Shoes or barefoot?
Barefoot.
Yeah. Ketchup or mustard?
Really depends on the food, but I'm going to say mustard.
I have one more, but I feel like it's inappropriate, so I'm not going to say it. I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind. It just doesn't feel like it's appropriate. So I'm going to just kind of switch it up real quick.
Okay.
Gilmore Girls. Let's talk about Gilmore Girls for a second.
Okay.
Because, hey, it's coming out next month. We're going to get some more. Okay. So, Gilmore Girls. Let's talk about Rory. How do you feel? Lightning round. Dean, Jess, Logan.
Jess.
Yes! Really? Yes! Oh my God.
I could not stand name Logan.
Oh no, yeah, me neither.
I'm so happy to hear someone else say that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm feeling really good about where we left this interview. That one was totally on the fly. Like, I can't believe I even came up with such an amazing question.
That was an awesome question.
Cover boom!
Cover boom!
Okay, so anyway, we're not going to do any book recommendations today because it's been really kind of crazy trying to get through the interview and get everything ready for this episode. But what we are going to do is plug a few things. You've kind of already plugged yourself, but you can plug yourself again. Yeah. Do you want to plug yourself again, or are you feeling good?
I'm feeling good. Faded Moon, August 30th. October 30th.
All right, so I have 2 books out in the Suttonwood series. We have Stuck in the Moment, which is free right now, so you guys can snag that. And if you like it, feel free to check out book 2, which is Where You Belong. And then I have another book coming out in late December, which is adding on to the A Little Beyond series. It's A Little Beyond Time. You can join us next month to watch our episode that Lashell came up with. I'm really excited. It's called What You Watchin'. Lashell, do you want to tell them what You Watchin' is about?
Basically, it's about the TV shows and or movies that we watch and how or if they impact what we write.
And we watch a lot of TV.
That's the one thing we discovered. We watch a lot.
We watch more TV than any writer should. I feel like if the two of us ever say to one another, I don't have time,
right,
the response needs to be, turn off the TV, and now you have hours. Like, period. Okay, and then December, we're doing an episode called Christmas Romance, which we're really, really excited about, and we hope you will join us for that. And in January, we're talking about a topic that I think we have wanted to talk about for a really long time. It's something that Lashell and I really love, and it's called diversity in romance, because we love us some diversity. Look at that smile. Look how pretty she is. She's so pretty. Okay, so that is our show. Lashell, thank you so much for putting up with my questions and my craziness. And we will see you guys next month for What You Watchin'.